In the last 6 months, Nigeria has opened export trade houses around the world, from Africa to Europe to Asia, with a view to deepen bilateral trade cooperation between Nigeria and countries around the world. I have joining me virtually Ofon Udofia. He is the CEO, Institute of Export Operations and Management. You're welcome to Business Express.
And I have been collaborating to strengthen both countries' economies and leverage foreign direct investment opportunities to expand business in Nigeria and China markets for a steady economy and forex inflow. This renewed alliance has birthed the establishment of the Nigerian Export Trade House in Changsha, Hunan Province, China, with the shipment of more than 20 containers of ginger and sesame seeds valued at $1.3 million to kickstart the operation of the trade house.
China was third on the top 10 non-oil export performers of about 375 million US dollars. And there is need for us to curb that trade deficit by introducing the export trade house.
To seek for the expansion of those goods that's on protocol list between China and Africa, particularly Nigeria.
We hope to work with Nigerian embassies in China and the relevant institutions to work on all fronts, for example, to set up overseas warehouses on both sides and other long-term economic trade investment trade cooperation so as to achieve mutually beneficial and win-win results.
We can do much more by taking advantage of the framework on trade and investment promotion, especially it is now abundantly clear that Nigeria is an important trade partner to China.
The Nigerian Export Trade House in Hunan Province is expected to increase the visibility of Nigerian products in the People's Republic of China, considering its prominence in the Asian continent. From Changsha, Hunan Province, China, Comfort Amadu.
Okay, thank you. That was a background to our discussion. Mr. Ofon Udofia, you're welcome again to Business Express.
Amen. Me here.
Okay, you saw that outing by Nigeria, talking about the trade house being open in China. Before the China trade house opening, we've seen Nigeria through the NEPC open trade houses around, in Africa, talking about Togo, Benin, and countries around the world to increase visibility for Nigerian products out there. And you are one key player in this export value chain. First of all, I want to get your impression. What do you think about this initiative by Nigeria at this particular point in time?
I want to particularly give a thumb up to the Chief Executive of Nigerian Export Promotion Council. And I am not too surprised because he has been in Export Promotion Council and grew from the rank and file, and he knows what to do to improve export in Nigeria. It's a very good initiative that is commendable, and I want to advise that successive governments should continue with it, because it is something that will market Nigeria in the outside world. So it's a very good initiative.
Okay. You have been at the forefront of promoting export in Nigeria. You've been into facilitation. You've been into capacity building for people who intend to export their products out of this country, particularly in the agro sector. How is that going so far with the challenges you and I have talked about previously, talking about value addition to our products and the ease of export? Where are we on that?
Yes, Benny. Actually, the export warehouse is a good initiative, as I said earlier. But the second aspect of it is for we to not only just send commodities, agricultural commodities. After this first phase of sending raw material, raw commodities, I want to suggest that the second stage should be to come up with finished products so that people can actually buy this product with description made in Nigeria. So it is a good initiative, but I want to appeal that should be done, and then there should also be a kind of support to the SMEs to enable them package their product, certify their product, which is what NEPC is doing. And I'm trying to employ others that you don't leave the work completely for NEPC. Other trade support institutions like us, the Chamber of Commerce, should see it as giving a holistic approach, so that because what NEPC is doing for the entire country, the moment we succeed in export, invariably everybody will key into place. Our trade would be balanced. There will be no deficit any longer. As a matter of fact, the exchange rate between the dollars and the naira will be breached. So I want to comment and say that more should be done on value addition and finished products for consumption bearing the mark made in Nigeria.
Nigeria is looking to start trading in the continental free market, talking about the AFCFTA, and where there's a projection Nigeria is got possibly the population to cash in into this market. Yes, we're talking about not just exporting raw materials outside, but finished products. In terms of capacity, government has been doing its bit. Can you take us through the contributions of the private sector so far, and what do you think should be done to ensure that as Nigeria look to start trading on this market, we're actually going to take advantage of all the benefits that are therein?
Yes, from the private sector angle, I will want maybe charity begins at home to start with our institute. We are a trade and investment support institution. From the inception of the African Continental Free Trade Agreements being signed in Kigali, and then coming back to Nigeria, we have been opportuned. We have also been
okay. It's we're losing contract. Okay.
On packaging, on documentation, on certification. You can know that before now we were not even having companies that have organic certification. NEPC has done a lot. Then from the private sector, we are supporting, because NEPC is the national body to promote export. What we are doing, like the Chamber of Commerce, the Institute, and the Manufacturing Association of Nigeria, and the rest, is we are supporting the downline. What federal government may not be able to do with their meager resources to the downline, we are doing that. We are training people on packaging, documentation, certification.
Well, it seems we're losing contact there. We're having a glitch. We'll get to re-establish contact with Ofon Udofia as soon as we can. Okay, I understand that you can actually pick our signal at this point. Okay, can you continue with that point?
Yes, as I was saying, we have been able to train a lot of people. When you ask me what is the private sector doing, we have trained a lot of people, women, courtesy of NEPC, International Trade Center, at least to let them understand the documentation, packaging, and the rest of the thing you need to sell in the using the African Continental Free Trade Agreement. As I said earlier, that is a free trade doesn't mean that you have to send products that are not good to the other countries. So each country still have the standard of what they want you to bring in. That is the area that the private sector have actually done more by educating the people and then giving them a practical experience. Taking, like in our case, we take them to the port, let them understand what is it that Ghana wants to buy from us and what are the standards. What is it that Cote d'Ivoire will need to want to buy from and what are the standards. So it is now left for government that when we finally domesticate this African Continental Free Trade Agreement, that we can actually start trading with other African countries. But meanwhile, for now, we are using the ETLS to trade within Western sub-region. So the private sector is actually doing much in that. There's frequent training, frequent seminar, frequent workshop, trying to inculcate people into understanding this cross-border trade of African Continental Free Trade area.
Okay, one of the agreements in the AFCFTA is talking about rules of origin, is for local content to have up to 60%, then some other expatriate contribution should be 40%. How ready is Nigeria for this 60% finishing raw materials and processing in country? I'm coming from the challenges we've always had. Manufacturers complain about a cost of production. How competitive will Nigerian products be? Well, Well, at this point, we take a short break so that we get to re-establish contact with Ofon Udofia. Okay, we apologize for that network glitch. We are not able to re-establish contact with Ofon Udofia. Ofon Udofia, if you can hear me, we appreciate your contribution thus far. We'll get to reconnect again some other time to continue our conversation. Okay, well, I'm told you are here and you can pick our signals. Okay, let's hear from you before we round up.
Okay, you are asking about the competitiveness of our product. Yes, actually, one of the major problems we are having is power. But notwithstanding, in terms of role of origin, I think we are also doing very well in that because we've been using that under the ETLS, which is the ECOWAS Territorialization Scheme. When we are talking about role of origin and 60 or 70% contribution, you remember labor is part of it. Nigeria is really doing very well in petrochemicals because like a lubricant has been sold. I for example, I'm proud of Eternal Oil because we train their people and they have actually entered other West African countries. So with that, when we come to role of origin, I know we are going to do well, but I want to encourage government to do more work on the power sector. I'm happy that now government has alliances or allow state government to generate power. So that will bring a healthy competition. So on the area of role of origin, I don't have any issue on that. But the area I want to emphasize is on tariffs. How much do we pay? We should compare our tariff both in the ports and in the customer and exercise with the other one within the sub-region so that our product will be competitive. But for role of origin, I definitely know that we are going to beat that because this comprises of our manpower, the foreign materials that we're using, all the product used including this material must not be, the foreign component must not be 40 or 30%. The 60 or 70 must come from Nigeria.
Okay, now, what is the situation around the ports? We've been hearing ease of business around the port is being a challenge. Then we also understand that government is doing a lot around that axis in terms of clearing traffic and in terms of automation of the custom processes where exporters and importers have ease of trading and moving their goods around the ports. What's the present situation? The last time I checked on you, you were around Lagos, around the ports doing some business. What's the situation there?
Conscious effort with the ease of doing business, and it will interest you that last week I was in Lagos, and what we were doing some training for head of agencies and head of port controllers, courtesy of the Convention for Business Integrity in partnership with Maritime and Corruption Network. So we're able to bear our mind to work with the customs, the port health, and the relevant agency to see the need for ease of doing business and for business facilitation. And it's ongoing. They're also coming to Port Harcourt. So I wouldn't say that it is 100% easy. We still have some bottlenecks. But since there's a commitment and a will power to do that, and I think we are going to get a lot of improvement in the near future. But I want to assure you, even down in Port Harcourt, where I am today, the only port we are exporting with it, and it's a little bit easy, and there's no congestion. The area one port we are also doing, which is the old port in Port Harcourt. So there are a lot of progress. So from where we are getting from our members, and if me particularly visiting the port, there's a lot of progress, and I believe we can do more.
Well, thank you so very much for that information, getting to know that the ports around Port Harcourt and other ports around the country are actually being kept busy with so much ease to export and possibly import. Thank you for sharing your thoughts at this particular point in time with us, Mr. Ofon Udofia.
Thank you, Bidney. It's my pleasure.